Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Femi Beatrice and I'm a Nigerian and also a registered nurse in the UK. And today I'm going to be sharing with you how I got to be a registered nurse in the UK and how I got to do most of the process by myself. If that's something that you like, please click on the like button, continue watching this video and subscribe to my channel. In my case, the first thing I did was to get an international passport, and after I got my international passport, I went ahead to write the English exam first. Um, I did this because I believed that the English exam was the hardest obstacle to overcome at that time. And I thought if I get over with the English exam, the CBT exam might not be such a big deal to get over with. So I registered with the British Council and then I sat down for the exam, and thankfully I was able to pass it at one sitting and also meet the NMC standards. I think the exam at that time cost about 79,000 naira. I'm pretty sure it has probably increased. Sorry, naira is the currency for Nigeria, so I believe it will vary from country to country. After passing the the English exam, I then went on to create an online NMC account. So in this stage, I just had to upload, details about myself, my name, address, things like that, qualifications, and I also had to upload, supporting data like my passport and my data and certificates and things like that to the NMC account. Mind you, if you're like me who has three names, when you're about to create an account, the NMC page only has two boxes for names, the first name and the surname. So if you have three names, put your first name and your middle name in the box for the first name. Because if you don't do that and you want your middle name to reflect, you would have to write an email separately to tell NMC to correct that mistake. So that's that. So after uploading my documents, I then went ahead to pay the £140 and wait for NMC to verify me. While waiting for NMC to verify me, I contacted my own nursing body, which is the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, and so that they can be aware that an organization is going to contact them regarding my registration with them. And if you are from Nigeria, all you just have to do is go online and you can do the NMCN verification and letter of good standing, and it cost about 17,500. So after this, it took about a month for NMC to be able to verify me, and after a month they reached out to me by email and said, oh, we verified you and it's okay for you to go ahead to write your CBT with Pearson VUE. So while you're waiting for verification, you can also use that time to be preparing for whatever exam you feel you have to write next, which in my case it was CBT. For CBT cost about £83, and you have to register with Pearson VUE, create an account with them, pick one of their exam centers, and then you can go ahead to write the exam. During my case, I wrote the new CBT, which contained the paper 1 and the paper 2. The paper 1 is just majorly calculations and things like that, and paper 2 is mostly the objective questions. And thankfully, I also passed that in one sitting. It took me about a month to prepare for the exam, and some people say it takes them about 2 weeks. So it just depends on how prepared you are and whether you feel you are prepared enough to pass the exam in one sitting. After I wrote the CBT exam, I then went ahead to start applying for jobs, because now I have my IELTS and my CBTs, and I can tell any employer that, oh, I have my IELTS and CBT, please can I apply for a job in your organization. If you are from Nigeria, you can reach out to NJO on Instagram and tell them to add them to their group chats, whether it's Telegram or WhatsApp. NJO was actually very useful to me because they used to post like job openings and job, applications or job vacancies on their WhatsApp groups. And if you needed to know anything about, recruitment process in the UK or the application process in the UK, someone on the group chat was always ready to reply and answer your questions. So you can reach out to them on Instagram or on any of their social media platforms. So I started applying for jobs. I used Track. I applied on Track. I applied on the NHS website. I applied I did register with LinkedIn, but I don't think I actually made any application with LinkedIn. So I also sent cold mails to, organizations, telling them that, hi, I am so and so, I've written my CBT, I've written my IELTS, do you have any job vacancies for me? I'm a nurse from Nigeria, and this and that. So while looking for a job, I then decided to complete my registration application. And in the registration application stage, you upload your character evidence, you upload your health evidence, you upload your IELTS exam or your OET, and you fill something about professional indemnity, and you also do some declarations and stuff like that. And for all those to be verified, all the documents to be verified, you pay a fee of £153 to the NMC. This £153 is refundable. That's if you decide not to go further with your UK application, they would refund this money to you. But the previous £140 for the NMC verification, that is non-refundable. So if you decide to not go ahead with your application, that will not be refunded to you. Anyway, for character evidence, all you just have to do is upload a police clearance from your home country or any other country that you've lived in, and just upload it to the NMC website. And for the health evidence, you can get your family doctor, or you can get any doctor that has been seeing you for a while, and just to say that, oh, this person is fit to be able to work in the UK. The professional indemnity, most likely your the person who is going to employ you will provide some sort of professional indemnity for you. And the IELTS, the English evidence, the English language evidence, is mainly your IELTS or your OET that meets the NMC standards. Then after I finished this registration and I got verified by NMC, I finally got a job interview, and this was somewhere around, I think, in November 2021. So it took me about 2 months from when I started applying for jobs before I got my first interview, and I actually even got only one interview, and that was the one I passed, and that was the trust that I came in with and came over to the UK. If you're applying for yourself, I think the process that takes the longest is the part where you have to apply for jobs. The English exam or the CBT might not really be most people's problem, but you see, this part where you have to apply for jobs directly is the part that takes a long time, and it varies for some people. Some people are so lucky, 1 month, 1 week, while some people have to wait for 2 months, 3 months, or even more than that before they get a job. Anyway, that's not to discourage you. If you are in this stage and you are losing hope, please keep applying, and I know that your own job is going to come. So I applied for a job, and it took them, after the interview, I think it took them about 3 weeks before they got back to me saying that, oh, you've passed the interview, and they offered me a job offer and the contract, which I went through it and I was fine with it, signed it and sent it back to them. And then they applied for my COS. So in the process of applying for COS, they will ask you to send them a lot of documents and this and that. You have to keep checking your email in this stage. Actually, throughout this whole process, you have to keep checking your email, because if NMC is not sending you a message, some job interview or some employer is sending you a message. So then they asked me for my TB tests. So in order to apply for a visa, you actually need a TB test, and it shouldn't be expired. If you are from Nigeria, you do the TB test with the IOM, and it's quite a struggle trying to get a date. So my initial date with the TB test was like 2 months away. What I did was to email IOM and say, oh, I have an employer now and they are demanding for a TB test, and they granted me an earlier date. So if you have a date with IOM and it's farther away, but you have an employer who is demanding for it, you can always reach out to them by email or telephone and tell them, oh, my employer is demanding for this and they require an earlier date, and they'll grant it to you. So I think the TB test cost about 57,800, and you have to go to their office for that. And finally, my COS was out. When my COS came out, the nationality was wrong. So guys, when your COS come out, make sure to check all the details. The nationality was maybe Namibia or something like that, and they had to send the COS back to correct the nationality. So this process took about maybe some days to a week, and it kind of delayed me being able to apply for visa and being able to my flight date and my resumption date. Anyway, because of the contract that I had, my employer was paying for my COS, my employer was paying for my visa application and my flights. So it just depends on the contract that you have. Some people have to pay for their COS themselves, some people have to pay for their flights themselves, and then they get refunded when they come over here. So guys, read through your contract very well to make sure that you know exactly what you are paying for and what exactly your employer is going to cover for you. So after my COS finally came out with the right nationality, I was able to apply for visa. I went to the center in Ikeja, that's the TLC center in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria, and I think it took about 2 weeks or so before my visa came out, and I was able to book a flight and I came over to the UK. So upon arrival into the UK, different employers, different ways. For me, my exam, from the date of my arrival into the UK, my OSCE exam was in 3 weeks. So I had this 2 weeks intense preparation for OSCE. I didn't go to work, I didn't leave my room for the most part, except maybe when I was going to the post office or just to go to the bank to create an account. I was mostly indoors, online sessions preparing for OSCE, and then some face-to-face sessions. And in 3 weeks time from when I arrived to the UK, I wrote my OSCE. I was part of the people who wrote the new OSCE, and at that I wrote in February, and at that time we had 10 stations. So we had the ADPI stations, and then the 4 skill stations, and then the 2 written stations. So that was making 10 stations, right? I think now they've increased the number of stations, and I was asking someone and she said they have about 16 stations now. Amen. God bless you guys that are writing these OSCE with 16 stations. I did 10 stations and I thought that was one heck of an exam. Anyway, thank God I wrote the OSCE and I passed in one sitting. And if you don't pass your OSCE initially, let's assume you fail just 1 station or 2 stations or 3 stations or 4 stations, you can go back just to rewrite just that station. So after I got my OSCE, I got the mail from NMC saying, oh, you have your PIN and congratulations, you are now a nurse. And that's how I got to be a nurse in the UK in 2022. Anyway, thanks for listening to my channel. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section and I'll make sure to look at it and answer it as much as I can. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Have a nice day.